Okay, like I said, we do an RPM. Let's go. So we're gonna do Scott Truman. Scott Truman is the red RPM Ranger. So Scott Truman had a brother named Marcus, and Marcus was he is a fighter pilot. Basically, Scott's father is the colonel for the Vengeance Air Force, for the Defender of Corinth Air Force, and his two sons were part of that Air Force. One day, the colonel decided to send out his son's squad to battle against Vengeance in the night. Scott wanted to go help his brother, but his father didn't want him to go. So Scott decided to disobey his father's orders and go with his brother on the attack against Vengeance. But during the attack, Scott's brother got shot down by Vengeance and getting killed instantly. Most of Marcus's team also got killed as well. Scott's plane then got hit, and Scott had to eject, landing in the desert. Scott then was saved by Summer Lansdowne, the RPM Yellow Ranger, and he was able to return to Corinth. But then he had to tell his father what happened, and Scott always saw that Scott's father always saw that his father liked Marcus more than him, and Scott always tried to get his approval. But when Scott told his father that Marcus was dead, Scott's father was very mad, and he became even more distant with Scott as it turned. But then Dr. K decided to choose Scott to become the RPM Red Ranger to battle against Vengeance and to save Corinth and the rest of the world. So that's Scott's origin. I hope you guys enjoyed. Okay, now we're going to do Flynn McAllister. So Flynn was Scottish. He grew up in a Scottish background. His father was a mechanic. I don't know what happened to his mom, but he always had the feeling to want to help people. He never wanted to see anybody suffer. He wanted to help people. But after he graduated, he tried multiple times. He tried to be a police officer. He tried to be a fireman. He tried to be an international saver. Basically, it's one of those an international saver is like how I want to put it. It's basically where people go out of their state to go to like islands and stuff like that to help the people out who need it. That's what Flynn was doing, but he failed at all three. But then, when Vengeance showed up, his whole entire life changed. You see, while Flynn and his father were entering the Dome City, a mother was calling out that her daughter got lost. Flynn decided then to steal a bus and drive out to save any remaining survivors outside of the dome, leaving his father, and he decided to drive the bus. He was able to save people, and he was able to find the daughter. And then, when Flynn's father then finally saw that his son was a hero, he decided to let his son rock and let him do what he wanted to do. Then Flynn was chosen by Dr. K to become the Blue RPM Ranger, and he became the Blue RPM Ranger, and I'm pretty sure Flynn's father was his biggest fan. Now we got Summer Lansdowne. So Summer Lansdowne was rich. She was very rich. She was the richest person in the world. All of that changed though because her parents were always out of town, and they never were able to spend a lot of time together. But the entire thing changed when Vengeance showed up. You see, Vengeance started attacking, and Summer was running from Vengeance with her friends, and there actually came a truck to save them. But her friends legitimately pushed her out of the truck so they can take the seats, and she literally was stranded. But then her butler saved her. Also, when Summer was rich, she's trained. She did motorbike riding, dirt bike riding. She did a bunch of stuff because she had the money for it. But when she got betrayed by her friends, she saw that she had to look out for herself. She was saved by her butler, but then the car that they were driving in got attacked. It was an ice cream truck, and her butler died. But Summer was able to get to a refugee camp where she was able to heal herself and find her parents. But when it came over the radio that a pilot would crash landed, Summer decided to put on a medical leather jacket and a motorbike and go out there and save the pilot, who was Scott. and boom, she was chosen to become the Yellow Ranger for RPM, and boom, she became it. That's her origin.